So I have to wait until the state become active. Let me scroll down here and go to target groups. And let me come back to our load balancer. Listeners. So for now, this say me that healthy is 0 and healthy is 0 and used is 1 because the load balancer still in provisioning state. So once it's provisioned and be active, then it will start to send traffic to this port, and if it is healthy, then this will be marked here. As yes, as you can see now, it's healthy, marked as 1. And if we come back now and refresh, we can see that the load balancer now active. So if I scroll down here and I copy its DNS, and instead of using this one, I will use this one, the DNS of the load balancer. And as you can see that the application work as we expect. So the next step now, before we go in further, I'm going to show you something or some feature or component in Azure, in Kubernetes, call it the RBAC. It stands for Role-Based Access Control. So what is this role-based access control? And there is another one that's called the service account. So what is the difference between this service account and role-based access control? So let me come here and then telling you what I'm going to achieve before I implemented that. So I have my admin host, right? And this is my admin host. I have the administrator, the admin, and now I'm going to create another user and call it Abdulali. So I will create a user on my admin host and call it Abdulali. And I want this user to be able to interact with my cluster that reside here. So our load balancer, and then traffic will be distributed here. Right. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create the user and enable him to interact with my cluster. So let us discover what are the issues and errors that we will face once we create a user and try to interact with. And they will explain you everything and explain you why that's error appears and how to overcome it, etc. So just stay with me, I will explain you everything. So I will scroll down here. I have already give you all the steps here. All what you need is to copy and paste that, right? And if you look for the explanation, you can keep watching my videos until the end, and you will end up with a huge knowledge, right? I highly guarantee you, if you watch my entire videos, even you are beginner, if you don't have a background in IT or anything, just follow my videos and you will understand everything, because I take you step by step. I deal with you as a beginner, as a person that know nothing, either on AWS or in Linux or anything. Just stay watching and stay follow my advices and my explanation, and you will understand everything. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to create a user. Call it Abdel. So let me explain you what this command means. So as you know that there are two commands, either sudo user add or add user. So this command on Ubuntu especially, when you use it, then that's if you type only sudo user add, then the name of the user, then this user will not have a directory. So to create a directory, we have to provide this command with another option, like the -s, that once this user login to its account, it will have a shell, a login shell, and this d, it specify the name of of his directory or her directory. Then -m, this option is the one that enable us to create a directory for our user, and then -g sudo, it gives this user the privilege of the super user. So let me copy this command and come here and create that. And give it password, right? So now if I try to switch to Abdali, it will ask me for the password. I will provide the password, yes. And now if I try to interact with my cluster and type in kubectl git notes, the connection to the server localhost was refused. Did you specify the right host or port? Because now if we try to type config view, as you can see that the cluster is null, the context is null, and the user is null. But if I switch back to our Ubuntu, right, and then type kubectl config view, you can see that they have cluster, server, etc. So what I'm going to do now is I will switch back to Abdali, and what I want to do is using this server URL. So this time I will type kubectl git nodes and then -- server and paste that URL here. So it's asking me for user, password, and as you can see that tell me please enter password. I have entered unable to connect to a server, certificate signed by unknown authority. So now it's time to know what is this certificate signed by unknown authority.